Greetings everyone, my name is Etterville, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Mega Man Maker. During the last part, I covered 11 levels from the most popular queue, so in this part, I'll be covering at least 5 or 6 more viewer submitted levels, starting off with this one. Mega forgets his keys and locks himself out of the house by Nuclearstomp, with 28 plays and a score of 9. As always, if you want one of your levels to be featured in a future part like this one, please leave both the level name and level ID either in the comment section below or direct message me on Twitter. Also, as always, the full disclaimer of this entire LP series is linked in the description below. Also in the description are the timestamps for all the levels I cover in these parts, so if you want to check if your level is covered, expand the description. So we started out with nothing and immediately gained access to the Mega Buster. But what's this? A 3D tank as well as a Sword Snake. I guess this is the back door. And this is the front door. And this is another door. I get the impression that I'll need at least 4 or 5 keys in order to complete this level, unless several of these key doors are optional. Another door. That's key number 1. Sure, let's go for the E-Tank. I wonder if the screen scrolls downwards. I won't risk it though. There's my first checkpoint, so let's take a look. Nope, it doesn't. So there is solid ground down over there, but it's probably over a bed of spikes or something. Yep, I was right, there are several beds of spikes. That's key number 2. This stage certainly feels like a fortress level. But in this case, the fortress is Dr. Light's laboratory. After all, that's where Mega Man lives at. Sadly, I can't access those 8 keys, or the meme tanks. And this stage has more than a few tighter jumps, hence why I'm being more silent than usual. But I'm still enjoying the stage. Certainly one on the more challenging side than usual, especially due to the indestructible gyres. If I had charge shots or another special weapon, this stage would be a lot easier. There's key number 3. I'll do a quick reset over here just to be safe. And we're sent back to the beginning of this level. And it leads back over here. What's this though? What does that X symbol mean? Strange. So now we're in Dr. Light's lab itself, but now we have to fight Woodman, who of course is immune against the Surf Snake. I missed the Ice Slasher somewhere though. I wonder where the Ice Slasher could be. Oh, wait a minute. This section is definitely new because I wasn't able to access the 2 keys down over there before, so the Ice Slasher is probably to the right. And here's a free tank. So the Ice Slasher is definitely to the right. And I was right. Good thing that I noticed the minor change to the stage here. Of course, this fight is perfectly doable Buster only, especially with 2 or 3 E-tanks. 2 E-tanks if I didn't go to the right screen. Overall, this was an above average to almost good level. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Nice challenge progression, nice checkpoint placement, although I would have preferred if there was one more checkpoint to be closer to each other, especially with the difficulty, but otherwise, it was fun. Second level on the lineup is Laser Race M1 by Jedox74, with 10 plays and a score of 2. This is the first in their series of trial challenge levels for Mega Man. They have a series for Base as well as Proto Man as well. So for this stage we need to outrun the force beams. this room was oddly generous, more so than the previous sections. This wasn't too bad either. Neither was this one. Thank you for the checkpoints. It's these sections where I need to jump over these spike pillars that I'm a bit worried. And that was the end of Laser Race M1. It was more worrisome than what I initially thought. I thought it'd be harder, especially with the tolerances with some of the yellow force beam sections, but no. It was kinder than what I expected, especially with the second half of the stage. Third level on the lineup is Laser Race M2, also by Jedox74, with 3 plays and a score of 0. Let's see how difficult this level is in comparison with the previous one. For one, we actually have a special weapon, that being Item 1. Well, not really a special weapon, but a utility. We couldn't outrun the red force beam over there, so we needed to use Item 1. Would have strongly preferred if this stage didn't have this much of a bright orange color scheme, especially with the foreground and background tile sets. It can make it a bit difficult discerning what's part of the foreground and what's part of the background in the heat of the moment. And that's level 2 done. It definitely feels like a step up in comparison with M1, but only slightly. And it did have a better difficulty curve in comparison with M1. Fourth level on the lineup is Mad Tower by Team Maverick, with 25 plays and a score of 1. This is a redesign of Team Maverick's first level, which got deleted a long time ago due to being dissatisfied with its poor design. So this was uploaded to commemorate the hard work that they put into level designs over the years. So it's time for me to judge how good this level is, with all the new things that Team Maverick, aka that Valve person Maverick, aka Marinekriegs have learned over the years. We started with 4 special weapons. Nice introduction to the Take-Tentos as well as the Neo Shotman. Gradually, the Take-Tentos are getting more difficult to deal with due to the terrain. We're getting introduced to the Picado 24s here. As well as the Shadow Man platforms. Good checkpoint placement. We have a low-hanging spike ceiling too. Oh well, at least we don't have ice physics or water physics. And to make this section easier, we can also use stuff like the charge kick. Especially for this following section. Spike drop segment. Thankfully, it's not too difficult. And you can only access this area for the M-Tank by using the charge kick. Fair enough, for more skilled players. And now we're combining usage of the spike ceilings with the Shadow Man platforms. So nice recombinational gimmicks. Oh no. This is gonna be a slight problem. Can't reach it either. That wasn't too bad actually. Thank you for placing this checkpoint over here. This stage is getting quite scary with the introduction of all those instant death hazards. Primarily the low-hanging ceiling spikes. And this is neat. We're climbing up the right side of this tower. The way you get this heat tank reminds me a lot of Boomer Kuwanger's stage. And that's the end of Mad Tower. Overall, a pretty solidly constructed traditional level, although, like the first stage by Nuclearstomp, it does get quite challenging near the end, or quite hair-raising. In fact, in some ways I'd say this is harder than the first level, especially if you try doing a buster only. Oh no, Ring Man, with a low spike ceiling as well. Okay, his weakness is the Crystal Eye. Plus I have a spare M-Tank, so I can fill it back up to max. Overall, a very solidly constructed level. I'd give it at least a 7.5 out of 10, or perhaps even an 8 out of 10. Definitely my favorite level of the part. Good work, Team Maverick. This really showcases how well you've improved over the years. Fifth and final level of the part is 4-in-1 Long Stage by Apple123 and, with 14 plays and a score of 1. I'm marking this as the final level of this part, as based off the title, I believe that this will take over 10 or 12 minutes to complete. I see 8 boss gates over here. Let's go to the left first. We start out with a full arsenal of special weapons here. Is there something to the left? Nope, there wasn't. I don't gain access to any platforming utilities. The only thing that comes close is the oil slider. Oh goody, killer bullets to contend with. At least I can freeze these in place. Oh, I see. It loops back over here. And we're immediately sent to this screen. I'll need to replay through the stage and see if taking the right boss gate leads to somewhere else. Should have waited there, or gone faster. This is essentially a block train. A slow-moving one at that. No wonder there's a checkpoint just before this section. This is on the fairer side as well. Well, that was close. Just needed to take a short breather over there. And there are no breaks in between this section, so if I die, I'm sent back 2 or 3 minutes. I do like the concept of this section, but gosh, I wish there was one place I could take a break. At the very least, there is a checkpoint at the end of this section. Don't worry, I'll go down. I'm just gonna farm some weapon energy, then I'll do so. Close enough. And it loops back over here. Interesting. We can't go to the left this time, so instead we're going to the right. I guess that's what I mean by a 4-in-1 long stage. I've already completed stages 1 and 2, and now moving on to stage 3, the sky stage, which will loop out back to the beginning over here, as we saw up there. This means one thing, oil slider. Definitely means oil slider. This part of the stage almost autoplays itself, excluding the parts where you need to jump on the land. Out of the 3 stages so far, this was easily the easiest one. And the 4th and final one, I believe, is a more elaborate spike drop segment. It definitely is. This is gonna be a challenge. And that's how we do this. So now we have this Galaxy Man teleporter launcher segment. I was half expecting to die just before hitting the last teleporter in the last section, knowing my luck in Mega Man Maker. I edited out at least 2.5 dozen deaths off screen. Half of them were due to my incompetence, the other half were due to engine issues. Neat, we end the stage exactly where we started. Or rather, in a rather similarly looking room. Overall, this was an okay to decent level. I did like the fourth and final level and how it utilized the Sparkman platforms and descending downwards, as well as the gyro platforms, but gosh, due to engine issues, it really brought down the fun for me. I probably will edit out at least 5 to 6 minutes of deaths. And I understand what they mean by 4-in-1 long stage now. This stage is divided into 4 sub-stages. First we go to the left, then up, then right, then down. And once we complete one subsection or one sub-stage, we're taken back to the same starting screen, but it's slightly different because a different boss door can open up. That's a creative way of merging together different sections using this engine. So I'll give this stage a 6 out of 10, although the difficulty curve is a bit wonky. The oil slider stage was definitely the easiest out of the bunch. And the second stage with the block train Yoku blocks, well, if you die in the middle, you can lose 2 to 3 minutes of progress, so I wish there was a checkpoint in the middle. So overall, out of the 5 levels I covered in this part, my favorite level would definitely be Mad Tower by Team Maverick, with an honorable mention going to Mega forgets his keys and locks himself out of the house by Nuclearstomp. Well then, in the next part, I'll be covering several more Veer submitted levels. Thanks for watching and have a nice day. Toodles!